Greetings, Benjamin J. from Ben's Trains with another in the series. Well, a follow-up on that double reduction motor with the 490 push rods that I repaired last night. I dropped it into this modified 898 shell. Now, it's still missing the handrails, but if you notice, I have filled the holes where the markers were. Now, this is missing the lens and the number board. This is just an old shell that I had, and I painted it some time ago, and I put a streamlined stack on it, since that's the only stack I had. But for being made out of junk, this is actually running really well, as you see. So I might get around to finishing this now that there's a motor in it. It needs the handrails. Rather than putting a number board and a lens in it, I will probably just pour them with 5-minute epoxy. Be more than good enough for this. I mean, this is made out of junk, no doubt. That shell was missing the stack. I wasn't going to buy one to put on there, so I had a streamlined stack. So I just recut the groove to accept that stack, filled the holes where the markers were. Now, as you see, it's virtually invisible. It is missing the number board and the lens. Like I said, I can just put a piece of tape on the inside of that and fill both of those holes with epoxy. That'll give me what will look like a number board and a lens. So anyway, that double reduction motor is up and running. The E-unit works, as you see. So this is far from perfect, just a hodgepodge bunch of parts, but it runs. And as you see, it actually runs quite well. Forward and reverse. Total cost, $0. Just made out of junk under the layout table. I put an armature in that motor, some brushes and brush springs. It's up and running. Of course, I have to put 490 push rods on it. It's the only push rods I have. Excuse me. But good enough for now. I was going to swap out those push rods, but why bother? This is running really, really well. Now, like I said, this was an old 898 shell that was just absolutely trash. So I painted it. Like I said, I had to recut the slot to accept a streamlined smokestack. It's not correct, but it looks all right. And filled the holes where the markers were with epoxy putty, filed it smooth, and then spray painted it with this hammered effect paint. So you put some handrails on this, a lens and a number board. Would actually be a decent looking locomotive considering it's made completely out of junk. Whoops. And as you see, it runs really well, forward and reverse. Good smooth operation, plenty of power. As you see. So good enough for now. Another project to keep me busy. That's all I'm doing right now. I put that new stack on the 8500 and just put that repaired motor into this old 898 shell. Like I said, it's far from perfect, but it's up and running. So if I actually get the initiative, I might put a set of handrails on this, and this would actually look fairly decent. Like I said, I can pour a lens and a number board with 5-minute epoxy. Just put a piece of tape on the inside of this and then just fill the hole with 5-minute epoxy, let it set, and you have what will look like a number board and a lens. So anyway, a good use for that motor until something better comes along. But as you see, this runs really, really well. Forward and reverse, it has plenty of power. It's quiet, it runs smooth. An old modified 898 shell. And this is up and running. Far from perfect, but it gives you a running locomotive. And as I always stress, don't overlook the junk. You can do this pennies on a dollar if you just do stuff like this. As you see, it runs extremely well, and it cost absolutely nothing. An old junk 898 shell and an old junk motor with a bad armature. And mismatched push rods. Like I said, it's got 490 push rods on it. But as you see, that doesn't look bad. And the nice thing about it, of course, is that it's running absolutely splendidly. This is running really, really well. So it was worth the time it took to do it. And if I add the lens and the number board and throw a set of handrails on it, you got yourself a complete locomotive that'll actually look quite nice. So just a quick follow-up video. As always, if you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email, BENZTRAINZ@gmail.com. And as always, thank you for watching.